slightly.
Oh! Episode 9's a doozy.
Alright, are you starting this for season 3?
Yeah. Welcome back to Briar, Mom, and Nerd. I'm Nerd.
I'm Mom.
So we just finished season 3 of Game of Thrones with the infamous Red Wedding.
Red Wedding.
It is infamously known as the Red Wedding. Very commonly known as the most shocking point of this series. So, in case we seem a little off this episode...
I had to have a tall drink after that.
Yeah, in case we seem a little off this episode of What Even If, What Even Is?
What Even If.
What Even If. What Even is even being the 5th time I've watched through season 3, the Red Wedding is hard to get through. So we had to drink a bit during episode 10.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But let's try and start from the beginning before we try and rehash that, because it's still hard to digest.
Yes, so starting at the beginning. We met new characters. We got the Boltons, specifically what we learned at the end of Ramsay Bolton.
Not Michael Bolton.
Not Michael Bolton. Yeah. There might be a Michael Bolton in this family. Who knows?
I don't know, he might sing us When a Man Wants a Woman, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Ramsay would sing that.
So, Ramsay, that's the bastard, right? So he...
That's the lead torturer.
And he tortures in an interesting way, because he made Theon Greyjoy think that he was being saved.
If you can't ride, you don't stand a chance. I can ride. Ride east. Follow the rising sun. Your sister's waiting for you.
I'll make you a lord of the Iron Islands for this.
We're not in the Iron Islands. Go. Come, my lord. You're a long way from home. Winter is coming.
Just to lead him back underground to the torture chamber in which he just rescued him from, to be tortured again! Only this time by him.
Yep.
And he straight up arrowed the guy through the eyeball that was torturing him to begin with.
Gonna rape him.
And was gonna rape him for escaping.
He's gonna rape him, and Ramsay was like, I'll save you, and shot the dude through the eyeball just to be on that guy's side.
Like, it's a psychological torture.
Yeah. Along with the physical that he has done. Dude straight up castrated
Theon Greyjoy and sent him...
sent his family, his bits.
Manhood in a box.
In the box, you'll find a special gift. Theon's favorite toy. He cried when I took it away from him.
If you guys know the song, you know.
Yep.
I should just insert that there for a second.
Yes.
So, Ramsay Snow Not a cool dude. Son of the Bolton.
Yep.
Not a cool dude. However, if you ever need someone tortured, that's the dude you call.
I don't know that I would want my worst enemy tortured by this guy.
No, this guy does it bad.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, he gets worse in season 4.
Oh, good God.
Season 4 and season 5
Poor
is
Theon.
Reek. Remember, it's Reek now. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
Theon.
sorry. Because he reeks. He is a reeky. He's a meat sack that reeks.
So he is Reek. So yeah.
We saw one full giant.
We saw a full giant. You loved that.
I loved to see that full giant. It was like, whoa.
Yes.
Of course, then it just came with the question: why do giants have weird faces? All the
Giants?
time in movies, why do they have weird faces?
And I think I told you. I'm not 100% sure, but in case anyone here is also wondering why giants in movies have like the weird noses and like twisted faces, I think the mythological creature of giants come from like giantism, from like, you know, the same disease that like Tiny Tim had, and like the guy who played
Elephant Man? Is that
you
what you
know,
said earlier?
Elephant Man, I believe. Elephant Man, I said earlier, but thinking about it, Elephant Man might have had a different disease. But like the guy who played in the Goonies, what was his name? Sloth in the Goonies, like that kind of syndrome, I think was like in the olden days were considered to be half giants, and you know, because they had giantism and all their features were larger. So I think that's why giants tend to look that way, because that's how
I was really hoping he was gonna play a bigger role, because it was just cool to see him. But we just saw him that one scene.
We saw him that one scene. We will see more.
I hope so,
We will
because
see
that
more.
was so cool. They did a really good job.
Yeah, we see more, and we see more than one on screen at a
That's
time.
cool
So,
too.
yeah.
Even though we met Ingrid last season, we got to actually see more of her this season.
Yes.
And learn more about her. We saw the infamous cave scene.
We saw
from France.
We saw the scene that you saw in France. I told you it was coming. I was like, Mom, this is the scene, and you're like, I don't think it was. And then they went in the cave, and you went, oh, that is.
Maybe it is.
And I was
I'm
like,
still like, it still makes no sense.
But I mean, it makes more sense.
It makes more sense in English.
And it makes more sense knowing
according to the story.
Yeah.
But it still makes no sense.
It's a weird scene. I told you that then too. Like, it is
a weird scene. But we both agreed about how many cave scenes are there, so that has to be the scene, of course. Like, my memory didn't fade on that. Like, it had to be that.
Well,
but, later on in the season, when he's being attacked, like, he falls in love with her after that cave scene. Well, he was in love with her before that cave scene. And she was in love with him. But they just kind of consummated that. That was the word you were thinking of earlier, by the way. Consummated. So, they consummated that love, really made it known. She kept saying, you're mine, and I'm yours.
Yep.
But later, when they were fighting,
yeah,
and he just, without thought, left her.
Yeah.
But she
after trying to save her, too.
He tried to save her.
Bumped her out of the fight.
He was fighting people off, and then he just, bye. It's like, but wait, she warned you you'd lose your man stuff if you ever abandoned her.
She was going to cut it off.
Which she liked to use as a threat.
Yeah.
But I kind of like her, because she's sassy.
Yes.
She's feisty. She's fiery. I kind of like her.
She's a lot like the man. Which Dad also said.
I know he said when he first saw her. That's the Becky Lynch. That's the man.
Yep. Which, Becky Lynch, if you're watching that, you go, girl.
Becky Lynch is awesome.
You are, yes.
The man, now the mom.
The man, now the mom.
Or soon to be, the mom.
Yeah. Also, if you want to do an Ingrid-inspired thing when you come back, please do. That would be badass.
And I'm hoping it's not the last time we see Ingrid. I feel like it's not, because I feel like the wildlings are going to play a big role moving forward. We got to see again, I just can't ever remember her name, but the girl that Sam likes, who he just rescued, Gilly, like the flower,
like the Gilly flower.
So we got to learn more about her and meet her new little baby, which she named Sam at the end.
Yeah.
Which is It almost made me
They're
cry with
adorable.
happiness. Sam is, well, earlier I said effing adorable.
Yep.
Grown Sam is
Yes.
effing adorable. Even though
I mean, both of them are.
You were like, well, the big one too.
The baby Sam is also adorable. It's an adorable baby.
But we got to learn more about Ingrid, or not Ingrid, yes.
Gilly.
Gilly. We got to learn more about Gilly. She's really sweet, and she's really, really naive.
She is.
Like, she knows nothing, which also compared to Ingrid, she knows nothing either.
She knows different things.
Yeah.
Ingrid knows different things than John.
That's true.
Yeah.
Whereas Gilly knows
Really
nothing.
I mean, she called Sam
A wizard.
A wizard for knowing how to read.
Marks on a paper.
Like.
I guess you're right, because Ingrid was like, what's swooning? What's fainting? Why would a girl faint at blood? They see more blood in a lifetime than men do, which is true.
Yes. But at the same time, when they were in the north, beyond the wall, she was the smarter one.
She's the one who knew everything.
Yeah.
But then you had Gilly, who really did know nothing, but,
Yeah.
you know, she's really an incestual child.
Yeah.
Who knows how many down the line of incestual children, you know, and her dad really,
Her dad's messed up.
yeah. And that whole scene, I called it mutiny, and then I was like, but whatever they call mutiny on land, which we looked up and
Mutiny.
found out that mutiny on land is mutiny.
Mutiny on a ship was specific for the Discovery era. So,
But
mutiny is just an uprising.
against those you follow.
Those you were loyal to.
Yeah.
So an uprising. A
So,
revolution.
When not the rebels, what were they? Not the raiders. What are they called?
The Wildling?
No,
the Black Watch.
the Night's Watch.
The Night's Watch.
They are the ones who go out. They're
The Rangers.
the Rangers. So those Rangers that he was leading,
Yeah.
when they killed their leader, I automatically went, it's mutiny now.
I mean, it
Because they
was.
killed the father of the daughter wives,
The Daughter Wives.
and then they killed their leader.
Is that that's a new spin-off for Game of Thrones? The Daughter Wives.
The daughter wives.
It's
I mean,
gonna
they
be
have
shot
the
the same as
TLC
Sister
or,
Wives.
or whatever. Yeah, sister wives. Now we're gonna have the daughter wives. That will be less liked.
Just so you know, and just so everybody else here knows, in case you didn't, there is actually a spin-off of Game of Thrones that they are trying to work on that talks about the Targaryens before the Mad King. So,
We do
Yeah.
find out there's a Targaryen still alive that is not the Khaleesi.
yes,
So-
Daenerys is not the only one of her bloodline.
We do find out that this really old, mostly blind man of the Night's Watch, which I
The
don't even
Night's
know
Watch
why
the
he's...
Maester.
Oh yeah, he's the
Yeah,
Maester.
he's the Maester.
Not the Master.
Not the Master.
He's a Targaryen, and nobody knows that, really.
Except for
Sam knows
Sam
that.
and Jon,
Gilly knows
right?
that now.
Yeah. I think
John
Sam
knows-
and John
John
learned
knows
it.
that.
Yeah. But Gilly
So-
wouldn't even know what that means.
No,
So,
she knows nothing.
yeah. No,
Poor
that's
girl.
Jon Snow.
That was like the theme of Ingrid throughout this season is you know nothing,
nothing,
Jon
Jon
Snow.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
So that is a very famous line now.
I want that on a shirt. You know
It
nothing,
is a
Jon
shirt.
Snow.
It is a shirt.
Is it?
It is. That is a shirt.
What did I say should be a shirt earlier?
What did you say? It was something about death or something like that.
Oh shoot! I wish I could remember it. We should have wrote that down.
We should have.
Because I was like, just say that and then put at the bottom like the author, Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Let's see. So we also, who else did we meet?
We really gotta find or
The
learn
Flayed Man.
the Boltons
Basically the whole group.
of the Boltons.
Because
not-
they
yeah.
they took Jaime Lannister and Brienne of Tarth. They took them. I hate that group.
Yeah,
Horrible
the
people.
Boltons are horrible. They were involved in the infamous scene that we'll talk about later.
They were.
Yeah.
They tried to feed Brienne to a bear.
They gave her a wooden sword to fight.
Okay. Wooden sword.
She could have knocked him out.
So I see, okay, so like, we're talking wrestling terms.
Yeah.
I see a face turn coming on Jaime Lannister.
See a face turn, huh?
I see a face turn coming.
So we have two face Lannisters coming up, you think?
Lannisters?
Yeah, because we do have Tyrion. Tyrion's a face.
I feel like Tyrion's been a face.
Yeah.
At
So we're
least
gonna
to
have
me.
two face.
We're gonna have two face Lannisters. I think Jaime has been a heel until he met Brienne of Tarth. I think she made him want to be a face. Because when they cut off his hand, first of all, I was shocked as shit.
Yeah, you were.
When they cut off his hand.
I was totally like, oh yeah, I forgot this part's coming up, and didn't remember that you hadn't seen this before.
I was like, what the fuck? I was...
Oh, that was great for me, because that was a moment that I was like, oh yeah, this is why I'm watching this with you. Because
I had no clue it was coming. It surprised. I couldn't have even dreamt that up in my... But he just did it, no problem.
he was like, this
And
is
then
to
I
remind you.
That's his sword hand. And you said, that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, that really was the point.
And then later he mentions, that's my sword hand.
Oh, not only did they cut off the hand, they tied it to his neck.
They did. And I was like, did they just make him wear that as a necklace?
Yup. They
That's
did the whole.
disgusting.
They did the whole Dolph Lundgren.
I know. Can you hear me now?
like,
Well, Brienne of Tarth from
being unwantedly touched.
Yes. What did he say? Keeping her womanhood intact?
Her honor.
Her honor. Her honor
to
intact.
keep her honor intact.
Keeping her honor intact. And she tried to save him when he fell off his horse and they started beating him, and he tried to... I don't know. I have this theory that those two are either going to become lovers or inseparable best friends. That's what I've been telling you tonight.
At the very least, inseparable.
Because...
Either way.
They are just... They have to be now. And he went back and saved her when he was supposed to be going to King's Landing and she was left behind, and when he found out that they weren't getting... She was the entertainment because they weren't going to get paid what they thought they should get paid. I mean, he threatened the guy and said, well, I could either tell my dad that you took my hand or you saved me. And he's like, but I had no part of that. What's he going to believe? So then he goes back and he saves her, and I'm like, these two, like... Well, I think I said it actually when they were taken hostage on the bridge. I said, these two are going to be something. Yeah. And it just was...
you before that, you said, you're going to crack up if they end up sleeping together.
It's true. And it just cemented it when he went back and saved her. And when he jumped in the pit with the bear and he saved her.
With no weapon, by the way.
A stump.
And with his stump, he was gonna
He had no plan.
Ashley Williams.
He just kind of went for it. And I was like, all right, these two are either going to become lovers or they're going to become the bestest of friends and inseparable.
Yep.
Then, let's see. The Hound has Arya.
The Hound has Arya. We also learned the Hound, not as bad as a guy as we maybe thought.
Correct.
He
wants to be sometimes.
He wants to be this big badass guy, but he also has a soft spot.
But I really celebrated when he said F the king. And then he said it again, and I was
F
like...
the king and
F the queen regent. Yes.
Yes.
So...
Because nobody...
Yes. And he keeps saving Stark girls. Left and right. Somehow he keeps falling into that, so...
He's just always right there.
I know.
I think I mentioned that when he just snatched up Arya. I was just like, why is he always just right there?
True, he is. So, so he's with her right now, which I think is great. I think she's going to be good for him, and he's going to be good for her. But I did believe her when she said, someday I'm going to put a sword through your eye and through the back of your skull.
Someday, I'm going to put a sword through your eye and out the back of your skull.
And he
believed
looked like he believed her as well.
He believed she was really gonna learn and try.
Yeah.
She was gonna
He
die
knew
trying.
he was, as she got bigger and stronger, that he was gonna have to look over her shoulder for her. And I had said from the very beginning, this is one you're gonna have to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
I had
As
told
soon
you
as
that.
she was by herself.
She's going to be one that's going to either lead a rebellion or cause a big problem because she's going to be a strong battle woman.
Well, she's been a problem for everyone so far. She is.
We learned more about the Red Priestess. I don't like her, and she should burn in
Melisandre should go to her god.
She should meet her god in person.
Yes.
She's horrible.
Oh yeah.
The Khaleesi
Khaleesi
is the best thing in the world. I have called this from the beginning. She has gained
the Unsullied.
Which
is, there was an argument in the season, 8,000 or 10,000.
Okay, I think it's 8,000 trained and 2,000 not fully trained. I think it is actually 10,000.
She just didn't have all 10,000 with her in that moment. Because
they
said they only counted 8,000.
Not trained. Mm-hmm. I think the not trained ones she may have left either behind or they stuck in the back.
Yeah. Because I know the warrior said they only counted 8,000.
Can
so
they count that high?
Who knows?
But
I feel like the dudes.
I don't know if I trust the pretty boy.
Don't trust the pretty boy yet. I can't remember his name.
Mr. Something of Something.
Yeah.
Who beheaded his dudes.
Yeah.
I don't know that I trust him.
The secret lover of Daenerys also does not trust her.
He says, he basically gave her the second sons because she was so pretty and everything, and I think he wants to. Okay, part of me thinks he just wants to rule her people. Okay. But she doesn't believe in slaves, and she doesn't believe in ruling the people. Mm-hmm. She believes in letting you serve of your own free will, and I think each and every one of them would rather kill themselves than serve another master.
Yeah.
After being freed, which she says she can't do. She lets freedom be your choice.
I love that she said that too. She is all about empowering you.
It's your choice.
Yes.
You could either free yourself or choose to serve me. It's you.
Yeah. She's not about freeing the slaves. She's about empowering the slaves to free themselves. Give them the choice to do what they want.
And she is. I called her the army collector, and I said it would be hilarious if she marched into King's Landing having collected everybody else, all the other kingdom's armies along the way, and marched in upon Joffrey, having owned all other 6 kingdoms' armies, because everyone just seems to like her.
All the other 6 kingdoms. The 7 kingdoms are only Westeros. She hasn't even collected a single army over there.
So she collects, as she gets there, then she marches in and collects the 6 kingdoms, and they all march in on Joffrey, and he's like, we can win?
No, please, he would go, I am the king, you must listen to me.
Okay, I do like his grandpa saying a good king doesn't have to say that I am king.
A true king.
A true king does not have to say I am king.
I love, as much as I hate the Lannisters, I love him in this season.
Okay, I do like his grandpa saying a good king doesn't have to say that I am king.
A true king.
A true king does not have to say I am king.
I love, as much as I hate the Lannisters, I love him in this season.
Okay, so if we want to skip to knowing the Lannister group, Grandpa Lannister.
I call him Papa Lannister, but it's
Tyrion?
Tyrion Lannister.
I love the fact that his daughter gave him the challenge of, well, you make the king listen to you then. Because he was ragging on her for, you can't even get your boy under control. And she's like, you think it's so easy? You make him listen. And at first, he was scared of Grandpa. Like,
yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Like, listen. And then the last thing you said, I am not tired! Because he sends the king to bed.
He said, as Tyrion says, he sent the most powerful man in Westeros to bed without supper.
But he's so powerful that everybody's afraid to defy him. So, like, he makes Tyrion marry Sansa.
She has not been able to get that name right since episode 1.
No, I still can't at all. I do not know
you
why.
You are so close. You always call her Sansa.
Sansa.
It's
Sansa. Sansa.
Sansa.
Neither one of them want to be married to each other. Is it Meredith or
Margarine.
Margarine is a butter.
Yes. Sorry, I'm thinking D&D, which if any of you guys are watching, hi.
Tried to convince Sansa that this was a good match because, one, she could be the most powerful woman being married to a Lannister and controlling Winterfell if her brother were to fall.
We'll get to that.
Which is true.
Yes.
Especially since they think the 2 younger boys are gone, and Arya's gone, and everybody else is gone.
In King's Landing, they're pretty sure after this season, they believe that Sansa is the last Stark.
Right. Well, right now she does look like the last Stark.
Yeah.
So, and they don't know about the bastard boy.
Well, yeah. Jon Snow, just knowing...
No, without Jon Snow, they don't know about Richard's bastard boy.
Yes, they don't know about Richard's bastard boy.
That is being held captive right now with the priestess witch lady who needs to just go away.
With,
the leeches. No, we're not going to talk about the leeches.
With the leech. Not even leeches. The leech. The one the last leech. No. Even the guys coming in the room were like, ooh.
So I had said, if I was in the position of Sansa, I would make Tyrion and myself the bestest of friends, like inseparable best friends, drinking buddies.
Jamie and Brian of course.
We would be such good friends. You do your thing with whoever, which happens to be Shay, and I'll do, whatever, and we'll just make everybody think that we're just doing it with each other, and let's just fool some people.
Sansa just can't get with someone of a different race than Tyrion.
I mean, no,
because that would be hard to explain when the baby comes.
Yes.
So,
But, I mean, I would just make the most of it in that way. And Tyrion is the kind of guy who would be all for that situation.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
He's like, in public, we're a couple, but in reality, like...
We're best friends who do our own thing. Like, it would be great.
Yeah.
I do love Marjorie's grandmother. She is Sassy Mouth.
Yes, I forget her name now. But
I don't know, but she is Sassy Mouth. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I want to be a Sassy Mouth grandma like that.
Yes.
Whenever you have children, I'm going to be a Sassy Mouth grandma.
Feel like the cheese will be served whenever I want it, and I want it right now.
And I want it now.
And did I not tell you the first time she showed up?
You
Mom,
said you're going to like her.
You're going to love this lady.
So there's lots of just battles and people trying to like take over everything else. We're learning a lot about different people, and they're trying to get into strategic positions basically in this season. It's a lot of really placement in this season.
It is a lot of placement.
Where season 2 was a lot of political things, season 3 seems more like a lot of
movement,
placement, a lot of movement, a lot of let's collect who we can, get the alliances we can, and let's kind of position ourselves as we can to kind of become the best ones to rise up to capture that throne. Right now, to be honest, Khaleesi is the one with the upper hand, and nobody knows it because they either don't know she's alive, don't know she exists, or don't know what she's doing.
Yep.
So she is working under the cloak without trying to work under the cloak.
Even Tywin Lannister, who is arguably the mastermind of Westeros.
Yes.
He plans this entire war, essentially.
He doesn't even believe when he hears about her.
He is just like, yeah, we'll deal with her later when she gets over here.
Because he's like, it's all fairy tales anyway. She's
Yeah.
just a little girl. Like, basically, that was his thing to Joffrey was, seriously,
Dragons don't
exist anymore. She's just a little girl. If she's still alive when she gets here, she won't be. Like, basically, that's what he's saying. And I'm like, dude, people who can get their nipples chopped off are people to be feared.
Yep.
Okay?
So let's talk specifically in depth about her army now. So we learned we have the 8,000 unsullied plus potentially 2,000 more not fully trained. The unsullied were slaves. She collected nothing but slaves this season.
They are enslaved men who are taken at a very young age, at the age of 4, they start training. They are cut, and so they can never
reproduce,
which I was like, that's dumb. Not even the 300 did that.
No, the 300 was
they
like,
gladly
let's do
reproduced. And in order to even become part of the ranks, they had to kill a baby
in front of the mother.
In front of the mother.
Ooh, that pissed Daenerys off.
It
did.
That. And these guys are hurt and beaten and tortured so badly during their training that they essentially feel nothing.
I mean, the dude cut one of their nipples off, and they
didn't even flinch.
Guy didn't flinch. Yeah.
And they are removed from their names, given new names, basically saying that they're vermin.
They're the lowest of low.
And yet she's loving them because that's what she does. She loves the lowest of the low. And
because she was there.
She offered them freedom. First, she had the best strategy in the world, saying, I'll pay you a dragon if you give me all the men, and then, okay, now that I control all of these men, okay, attack. And they did. I mean, because they only listened to the person with the whip.
I loved that scene, because you were so afraid of that, her losing that dragon.
I was so scared and furious. All I kept saying was, that dragon better find his way out of this situation and go back to his mommy.
And then it did the emotional thing of, like, crying out for its mom.
He did cry for his mommy, and I was so upset.
And you being a mom, you were so mad. Oh, watching your face during that scene was great.
I was so upset. I was like, no, he wants his mommy.
Knowing what was about to come up and seeing your face so angry, you were getting red.
I was so mad. And then when I read her plan, or she didn't even say her plan, she was starting to say, so now they follow me. So now they listen to me. And then she was like, she called them into mode. And then she called them forward, like she was testing them. And I was like, wait.
Yep.
Wait.
Oh,
wait.
And guess what? Guess who the dragon listens to?
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, the dragon listens to his mommy. When mommy says fire, he says, okay.
And she also associated that word from a young age, associated that word with food.
Yes.
So he was happy to burn.
Food.
Yes.
So that was great. And then she told them, like, you don't have to serve me. Like, you can leave me. That's fine.
I don't think they showed a single one leave.
No. But she told them, that's fine, you can leave me. No one's going to hunt you down. No one's going to expect you to fight with me.
You have
it's
a free
fine.
life.
You can leave. But if you want to serve me, you serve me as free men, and it's by your own will. And all of them were like, cool, we love you. Which is basically the same thing she did in the other city that she came to was, okay, look, you guys, I know we just killed all the sellswords and all that stuff, and you can go if you want to, you can free yourselves. And they just start calling her mom.
Oh, yes.
And,
well, before that, so she goes through the Unsullied, she gets them, she marches to the next town that's full of slaves. She is like, here's the deal. You can either free them, and I will spare your life. Oh, by the way, I'm taking the gold that you offered me, period. Yep. That's mine now. You can either free all your slaves and I'll spare your life, or you can die and I'm going to free them anyways. So then she got all of their army.
Yep.
to then go into the city and free all this, like, so she has 2 armies and, like, what looked like 10 million thousand slaves.
I mean, it was great.
It was freed slaves, because she freed them. So, well, she let them free themselves. So,
Bran knows Jon Snow is alive, so that's good.
yes.
But he's going north beyond the wall.
He has to find that 3-eyed raven.
Don't think I trust the kid that he's with, but
He's-
he's got Hodor, so okay.
He's following Peter Pan.
Yep.
Robin Hood's the other guy.
Robin Hood's the merry man that Arya was with for a while.
Yes.
Arya, she's a badass. She just shanked her first dude in this season.
She did.
She shanked the hell out of that
She
dude.
killed her first man.
And speaking of shanking,
It's time to get to the infamous scene.
before that, I'm really angry at you, season 3, for showing me about 50 dead horses.
That's it? It was just 50?
Or more.
There was a lot.
I got really upset. I actually almost turned off the show.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened and you're like, I'm gonna go make some coffee and go to the bathroom and do you need anything?
I was
Thank you,
really
you were-
mad.
I'm so glad that was the end of the episode.
I was so mad at all those dead horses.
Yeah.
So,
They had to make up for season 2 somehow.
season 3, you get a couple of flying birds.
We'll have some ravens fly across the screen right now.
Because, not cool.
Ugh. They did a lot of animal killing in this.
Yeah, every time they came to like a town, there was some dead animals, and I was
Yeah.
really upset.
They just straight showed some skinning of animals. That was kind of uncomfortable to watch.
Ooh,
So,
it's getting better.
yeah.
And then we get to
The Red Wedding. So let's talk about the lead up to this. So what happened was Robb Stark promised himself to one of the daughters of, and I always mess this up, I always try to
not
say the
Finch. That's his Harry Potter name.
Yes.
Frey.
Freys. I always mix them up with the Tullys because the
I
side
keep wanting to
houses,
call him Finch.
the side houses I always confuse.
We are in trouble.
Yes. I don't actually, just to cover us, I never looked it up, so I don't 100% sure that it is Finch.
Pretty sure.
We are
it's Finch.
99.9% sure that Master Tully,
No,
Master Frey is Finch from
We
Harry
haven't
Potter.
looked it up.
We
but
have
I'm
not
pretty
looked
sure.
it up, yeah. We have thought
I'm
people-
really trying to avoid this scene in case anybody had not figured that out.
So Robb Stark was promised himself to the Frey daughter. He then goes and marries this nurse lady.
He's in love.
He is
He's
madly in love.
like head over heels.
Yes. We learned this season that it is a Stark man thing that when you fall for someone, you fall hard.
Apparently so.
So I mean, it was that's 3 Stark men now that fell hard. So, so he fell in love with this girl, married her instead, went to the Freys and said, "This
really
happened.
sorry.
I am so sorry, but I hope you take this and
Here's my uncle who
here's
can
my
marry
uncle.
one of your daughters, because that was Frey's condition. If
Yes.
you want my army, we need, I don't know, some things plus your uncle to marry one of my daughters." And he said, "Okay."
Cool. Frey said, "I understand why you would marry this woman.
She's so gorgeous.
She's so gorgeous. She, in more crude terms, she is extremely gorgeous.
She looks really pretty naked.
Yeah. And I would have broken 50 oaths for her myself when I was your age. So it's all cool." We go to the uncle's wedding. The wedding goes smoothly.
They're having a great
They're
time.
having a great time, jolly time.
Eating, drinking, being merry, lots
You
of
know.
great music. It's good.
Yes. Then it's time for the bedding ceremony. We take all the daughters out, all of the Frey men out, along with his uncle, who's one of his strongest warriors. Then they bar the door. They shut and lock the doors.
As soon as the one dude shut the door, I went, something's wrong.
So I will tell these people, as we get into this, I did warn you. Episode 9 has the most shocking scene.
He told me that, but I did not know the shocking scene was coming.
No.
I had no clue. But I watch a lot of stuff, and still I didn't know this was going to be the shocking thing.
Yeah.
But I can read a story.
Yes.
So when the guy shut the door, I said to you, something bad is coming. And when the music changed they were playing,
Yeah.
I said, something really bad is coming. And when Lady Stark looked up at the musicians, I said, something really, really bad is coming.
Yeah.
And then they had to cut away to the Hound and Arya coming in to the city.
They did such a, this episode 9 of season 3, they did such a good job at keeping that suspension up the entire time. Because this whole episode was based around, can Stark get the okay from the Freys and be fine? The whole episode was around that. And so when you finally get that point of like, yeah, everything's cool, give us your uncle instead, you're like, oh, thank God. Oh no, something's bad is happening. Oh, we're just going to move on to someone else.
So when Lady Stark sees the chainmail on the guy next to her, on
Roose Bolton. Yep.
And
they came up, I told you they would come up again. Roose Bolton, head of the Bolton family.
She screams Rob's name.
Rob Run, I think she said.
She said Rob, because she just knew.
Yeah.
And they...
So leading up, I will take over, because I've seen it 5 times, so it's a little easier on me than for you, who is also a mother, so this scene is hard for you for a couple reasons. Rob and this lady that he married, that he fell for hard, now have an unborn child. She is pregnant. One of the Frey men come up and prison shank her in the baby. Right in the baby about 5 million times. Like, he goes to town on her baby.
I think that's about what I'm...
You screamed. You screamed during that. Then...
See, I'm gonna cry now.
You're gonna cry. This is why I'm taking over for this scene, though you kind of wanted to talk about it. Then the Frey dude was like, we gave you all the best food and wine and celebration, but let's give you the hospitality you really deserve. And all of his people started like shooting and stabbing all of the Starks, with Mama Stark and Robb Stark stuck in there with Robb's now dead wife and unborn child. Robb gets shot 3 times.
Mom gets shot once in the back of the shoulder.
Yeah. Then we cut away back to Arya and the Hound, who are now coming back.
No, because this is where...
They're finally making it to this place. They're finally making it to this wedding. And the Hound knows something's wrong by the way the guy's talking. Arya knows something's wrong because this scene already looks bad. Arya goes and hides. Then we see a bunch of men come out and shoot Robb's direwolf.
Because she was going to release him.
She was going to release him. She was ready. She went to go, saw a bunch of men come out and ducked back under into hiding, and they shot the dog.
And that, I just lost it at that point.
You lost it at that point before we even got to see the bad part of that dog. Because we cut to Arya's face seeing this, and we cut back to seeing this dog die under the, like, you see his face under the door and him, like, whimper and die, which is when I lose it every time, because that is such an emotional scene.
We go back to my mommy heartstrings.
We're going to have to put a maturity warning, or a trigger warning on this episode, by the way, because this is a hard scene.
Then we go back to my mommy heartstrings again.
Yes, we go back to the hall with Robb and Mama Stark. Mama Stark's hiding under a table.
Rob pulls himself up
somehow pulls himself up, 3 bolts in him.
Mourning his wife.
Goes to his wife, mourns him. The Frey dude is like mocking him. Mama Stark grabs Frey's wife, who is hiding under a table as well, with it was like a knife, but it was the most wicked, like, butcher knife ever. Puts it to her throat and says, you better, release my son or I will slit her throat. Like, I swear on all the gods, old and new, I will slit her throat.
And he is the coolest man.
The Mr. Frey, Master Frey, whatever his first name is, just looks at her with no emotion and just goes, I'll get a new one. Oof. Which is when you know Rob's not making it out of this building. So, someone comes up, slits Rob's throat. Which...
I was dying because she was begging for her son. She started to beg for him the moment he said, I'll get another one. She's like, no, please, take me as prisoner.
Yes.
And that's when my mommy heart started just going, oh my God. Like, I would do anything to keep my son alive.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. And I'm watching it with my son,
yes.
and I'm thinking, oh my God.
This episode is like one of the main reasons I wanted to watch a show with you. Why I'm making you wait and not binge it by yourself. Also, I don't want you to binge the show by yourself because this is what the show is. It is a dark, emotional show. So, she, without a second thought, she sees her son hit the ground and slits this poor girl's throat.
And then...
screaming.
She waits to die.
She
knows she's going to. She does not leave her eyes from Rob.
So Caitlin, I think it's Caitlin Stark, Mama Stark, gives the most, like, every time I watch this, I think of Sweeney Todd. When he kills, when Sweeney kills Mrs. Lovett and then just sits there holding on to his dead wife and, like, gives his neck to Toby. Because she slits this girl's throat and is, like, screaming like a banshee, then just looks at her son and just waits.
Because she knows it's going to happen.
She knows it's going to happen.
And she wants the last thing she sees is her son.
Yeah.
She's already dying believing both of her young sons are dead. Ned is dead, her husband. Her daughters are missing or captive. Could be dead.
She doesn't know. She
doesn't know.
Doesn't know where Arya is. She knows Sansa is captive, but is caught by the
Not
Lannisters.
in a good position.
Yeah.
Jon Snow, King's Guard, or Night Watch, she doesn't really know.
She doesn't know anymore.
And Rob just died. So basically, she's feeling alone. And at this point, everybody believes Sansa Stark is the last Stark.
Yeah.
We know she's not.
We know she's not. We as the viewers know she's not. Everybody in Westeros, subtract the Hound and like Hodor and that and
Peter Pan.
Well, the Wildling, I forget her name. Know that they're not the last. She's not the last Stark. Everybody else in Westeros thinks Sansa's the last Stark.
And then we have episode 10, which really was meaningless after episode 9. I was like, cool.
They really
People are trying to move into position.
They really should have.
Tyrion is trying to be okay, and Sansa's trying to be okay. And King Joffrey is a freaking a-hole talking about serving her brother's head on a platter. But
at his wedding.
But basically, to me, episode 10 was like a nothing episode because episode 9 had me so caught up.
So, here's the thing though. You have to think of imagining watching the show as it's airing. If episode 9 was the season finale and you had to wait a whole year mulling over the Red Wedding because that was the end of the episode. Caitlin Stark's throat being cut was the end of that episode. So imagine having that one episode to kind of buffer you and be like, okay, the world's not over.
I mean, it wasn't really an episode to teach you a lot anyway. It was kind of like just a palate cleanser episode, just to kind of
There
get
was
you
a
going.
lot more comedy in it. There was a lot more parts that were funny and were having you laugh.
Tyrion was hilarious.
Tyrion was
But
hilarious.
it was basically just to get you, okay.
Yes.
Because it was really hard to move on from that. And
Yes.
I'm still like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
So, yes, episode 9 ended. We see everything that happened. We paused and didn't go to episode 10 for, 10, 15 minutes?
Because it was really hard.
We were doing shots, drinking.
We had to go get some drinks because it was like, I can't do this. My mom was hurt. My mom's heart was broken. There was a lot about me that was broken after that.
So now you know why I kept telling you season 3 has the most shocking episode, the most shocking scene. Be prepared for season 3, episode 9. You can't be prepared.
You cannot. I was trying to be, and throughout the whole episode, I was like, I don't see anything that shocking. You know, and even when I went, ooh, something bad's gonna happen, I wasn't prepared. When he shanked her in the baby, I was like...
You screamed. I don't even know if you knew that you did, but you screamed.
I couldn't help it.
You didn't even scream and no or anything. You just... Ah! You, like, full screamed.
It's not okay. I was not okay. I'm still not okay.
This is why I gave her the pillow this episode. It's just...
Ooh!
Season 4 has some more upbeats to it. There's one specific upbeat that you guys will know if you have finished already.
Oh, it's 9:30. How about we go start episode...
Yes.
1?
Yes. We want to get to episode 2 because that is the upbeat that I want to end you with before we have to break.
So we're on a break until next week.
Yes.
But we finished season 3.
Finish season 3.
We're going to start season 4, just get through a couple episodes, and then we're done until next week.
Yes.
Hopefully it's a lot better because I'm in a sour mood.
Season 4, episode 2 will make you cheer.
Hopefully somebody beheads somebody that I don't like.
As far as I remember, no beheadings took place. You'll still cheer. What that means, I mean, there's a lot that you keep going, I so hope. I so hope. You like
so we'll see what happens.
Every character you have a, God,
I do
so
have a
hope
hope
this.
for lots of people. Alright then, well.
Until next time, leave in the comments what you thought the first time you saw the Red Wedding. Do you think there's another scene that's even more shocking and or traumatizing? Actually, don't answer that because that is spoilers.
Just say yes.
Yes, say yes.
If there is one, say yes and say look out for season
blank, episode blank.
But don't tell me what it is.
Don't tell her what it is. And what do you think of season 3 as a whole? That is one of my favorites. Season 4 is my other favorite.
I have to see them all before I have a favorite, but my God.
Yeah. Season 3 is a hard one.
It's hard.
Until next time, I'm Nerd.
I'm Mom.
Bye.
Bye, guys.